Hey, this is Daniel Oliver with Nothing More, and you're watching Tattoo.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mischievous Mouth, live from the Rockwell On-Scene Music Magazine, Tattoo.com, Rockwell Radio on the Edge, and the Edge Rock Radio! And oh my god, I'm shitting myself because I'm on the bus of Nothing More.
That you are. Hey, I'm Daniel from the band Nothing More. I play the bass.
I think you're underestimating what you really do. Tell us all that it's Daniel.
Let's see, I play the bass, they let me sing harmony, and then they also let me wild with a welder, and I get to kind of build some big, interesting contraptions for the live show.
Sir, you are a fucking badass because you are not just an epic musician, because I'm not going to lie, I'm a fan. Been a fan for a while. But holy fuck, it's like steampunk mechanics meets nerd, kind of, sort of. I mean, You've got fuck, I'm looking at you like, I'm not even smart enough to be on this couch with this guy, dude. And it's just a bass player. Can I say that? Just jokingly, just a bass player.
Yeah.
You know those bass player jokes, right? I'm sure you've heard them all.
Oh, they're terrible. Yeah. But, I guess I am part nerd. It did take a lot of thought to build all that stuff, so it didn't, I didn't just whiff it out, if you will. But, I'm stoked to be out here. We're on the Five Finger Death Punch tour right now, with Breaking Ben and Bad Wolves, and having a damn good time.
I still can't believe you're so underestimating. Okay, first off, if you have not seen Nothing More, get out from underneath your fucking rock, because it is a show that you can explain. Like, I used to explain to people in the media tent when you guys were like first new on the scene. I was like, okay, I don't even know how to explain this because it's like a Jim Morrison looking dude when Jim was hot, but very multi-talented, and he doesn't pass out on stage, backed up by this monster beast of a thing that there's nothing to fucking compare it to, and you are the man that made that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, can you explain it to the fools that, don't yet know?
Yeah, so the newest invention is this thing called Scorpion Tail, and the inspiration behind it is, I'd like to say that it's the world's first dubstep machine. It basically, it's a giant piece of steel that is a big MIDI controller. We're able to pipe the guitars and the bass and the vocals and everything through the computer, and actually in real time Johnny manipulates it he does pitch bends and chops and screws it and stutter edits and all sorts of stuff like that. But the whole thing happens atop right when we're going into it. There's this big steel drum set called Tron that gets catapulted into the air with Johnny on the back of it. It locks over, so the back of it is then about 6 feet above the stage, and even with it, Johnny pulls the Scorpion Tail up over the drums, so he's now standing on the back of the drums, and he's just wrestling this huge, curved, spiny piece of steel that I built. And the idea was to give just a massive visual for the audio that you're hearing, and the idea came from, he actually had the original idea to DJ the band, and basically what a DJ will do is take previously recorded audio and manipulate it in certain ways. And DJs are cool, they're fine, but it's kind of boring, and you never really know if what they're doing is real or if it's on tracks. And so his idea was to actually take live audio, and that we're playing, and DJ the band. And the first time he did it, he had this little bitty video game controller, and it worked and it sounded awesome, but it just didn't look cool. So I'm like, let's not blow the Eddie on that stupid piece of crap. Give me about 5 years, and I'll build you something, and we'll show the world. So it didn't take 5 years to build, but it took the idea slowly came together over about 4 or 5 years, and then finally, I think this time last year was the time we finally unveiled it. And it took about 6 months of that time to get it to actually work properly every night. But we're doing good now. No one's gotten hurt. Johnny's only fallen off of it twice. Scorpion Tail's never fallen into the crowd. Drumtron's never fallen off the catapult. I don't know. We're just having a good time out here.
It's a fucking beast of a collaboration. Just like that song that you guys did with Jacoby. Oh my god. That, holy fuck, was like the gods coming together. Because it's like two of the best frontmen in the world, one of the best bands, all that mechanics. How did that come about, though? What's the backstory to that?
With Jacoby, he's a guy that we've run across at festivals a lot, and he's so outgoing. He would just pop into our dressing room, even though we didn't really know him that well, which is awesome. You know, we're like, oh, it's Jacoby. Holy shit. But yeah, we sent him the record, the stories we tell ourselves before we'd finished it.
Which, by the way, is the new badass album that's out by them, the latest.
Yeah,
it's been out for a minute, but it's,
yeah.
But you're still touring, so yeah.
We are, yeah. So we sent it to Jacoby, sent it to a couple of other people in the industry, and then we ran across him at a festival in San Antonio, and he came backstage and he's like, love the record. Like, we have to do something soon, like a collaboration. And the song Don't Stop has a bridge that just kind of lended itself to having a guest vocal. And so we proposed it to him, and he just immediately jumped on board. And we were shooting the video like 2 weeks from that time. So it's like, can you get something together, in 2 weeks and hopefully have it recorded and then come perform in the music video? And, it all worked out. We actually didn't have we didn't have his part recorded yet on the record, but so in the video we just had to assume that it was going to be cool and that he was saying the right words. So,
well, I mean, I guess when it's Jacoby, to be real, he's like my god of all gods. Like, I always compare every band. I'm like, if you can be the front man that's Jacoby, then you've hit the bar. He's the bar.
Oh,
and you guys. I mean, like, and when I saw,
he can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. He's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, don't mean to be like having a fangirl moment, but when I saw Nothing More with Jacoby, I like lost my shit. I'm sitting out there, I'm like, oh my god! Oh, sorry to the guy sleeping in the bunk in Bunk Alley. He's gonna think bad things are happening on the bus.
Yeah. Maybe.
Did I? I think I almost made him blush. Almost, but not quite.
Yeah.
I'll work harder. But anyways, it's fucking amazing. And what I love about this album is it shows. I mean, you guys have this weirdness where, like I said, it's kind of you guys remind me of the storytellers with the lyrics. So fade in and fade out. That's kind of, I think, the newest version of Cats in the Cradle. Kind of. You know, like lyrically wise, like when you're, like the story it tells.
Is that Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon? Is that song?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, it tells the story of a dad watching his son grow up and then fade in, fade out. And I fucking love that song. Of course, I'm a mommy. But, I mean, I think even non-mommies love it.
Yeah. No, that was, Mark had the original idea for the song and started working on it. He's the only one of us with a child at this point. He's got an awesome 5-year-old little boy. Yeah, that anybody knows of. But yeah, so in talking to him, we've both talked about a lot, like how our fathers just, I don't know, like we're getting older. Mark has a son now, and our parents are kind of getting to that age to where, I don't know, we're obviously adults, and they've raised us, and all the relationships are just changing. Not that anybody's about to pass away or anything like that, knock on wood, but yeah, I don't know. All of our parents mean the world to us, and it's cool. I can't even put it into words, but
well, I'm going to bust your balls on it, only because you're not a daddy yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I can only feel the sentiment one way, like towards my father, but I've yet to have a son. It's something that I look forward to having a child at some point, but it hasn't happened yet.
It's crazy because, like I said, as a parent, I knew her as an infant, obviously in the belly, infant child. Now she's out on her own, and I have to meet her as an adult. And I think it's more terrifying for us on this side than it is from the kid. But you do look at it in a totally different way. So that's why that song kind of almost made me cry, and I love it. So I'm glad I got the story behind it. So yay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any ink that you want to share? Because we are here with Tattoo.com as well.
I know. I've kind of been freaking out because I have one tattoo. And I was looking up interviews before, and I'm like, all these people have so many tattoos.
Actually, we've interviewed some without.
Okay.
And I like to fuck with the people that have naked skin. So you are my favorite kind of victim right now.
Gotcha. I do have one tattoo. It's a dumb one on my ankle. And I got it when I was 18. It's the back. The first bass guitar I had was this Carvin 5-string. It had a 5-piece maple walnut neck, and it was a neck through. I just thought it was super beautiful. So I literally got a portion of the neck tattooed on the back of my leg, so I could hold it up to my ankle, and it's kind of like an extension of my body, if you will.
You know what's more romantic than that? Most people get a name that they have to go over, and they're like, fuck that. At least this relationship is going to last forever.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Now, when I went in for the 1-year touch-up, the place had closed down. So I don't know what kind of, bloodborne diseases I might have, but I think I'm okay at this point. One interesting thing we all do have, though, are these scars that we did. we took what we call the vow of poverty back in 2005, where we just committed to each other we just committed ourselves to music and committed ourselves to each other and to pursuing it no matter what. And we told ourselves that every year on the road, every year that, we've given our life to this, that we'd give ourselves one burn mark, at the back of a knife. And actually after 3 years, the band used to be a 5-piece. The other 2 guys had quit. So it was just me, Mark, and Johnny. So we just decided to leave it at 3 because 3 is kind of a power number. The Trinity and a 3-legged stool, can't tip, things like that. So yeah, I think that means a lot more to me than the tattoo on my ankle.
Do you feel like you want to get more ink?
It's something I've thought about, but I do kind of like the clean look now.
Should I be offended since I'm all inked up? I'm not.
No,
it's going to take a lot more than that, sir.
Yeah. I mean, no offense. I think tattoos are awesome. They're just not for me. With all the welding, I burned myself enough that, there's enough blemish.
So when you guys do decide to re-up on those, you're just going to weld them on, fuck the knife? I mean, why not?
Yeah, just really go hard. I think so.
So now, the welding thing, because that to me is really awesome. I actually spot welded once in high school, a dustpan.
Oh, yeah.
Started my hair on fire because it was when Aquanet was in.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Oh, fuck, yeah. But what do you prefer? I mean, obviously you probably have like a big, huge welding kit, I'm imagining, and like a badass one, or do you just walk around with a spot welder like Hank Hill, another Texas reference?
Yeah. No, my gear's actually real minimal. I'm not a professional. I got into it literally because I had the idea to make the bass solo thing where the bass spins around and locks upside down. I grew up racing motocross and go-karts and things like that, so I always kind of had a mechanical mind, but it really took me committing to finally buying a welder, and I had a good friend of mine, a mechanical engineer, that kind of showed me the ropes, and he really encouraged me to do it. He saw some of the things I made out of wood, and he was just like, Dan, you're not a carpenter. Like, you're awful. So I, finally went and bought the welder and just fell in love with it. Now it's a huge passion of mine. So, it's cool that it's appreciated on stage, and I'm really lucky to have such an enthusiastic group of bandmates to go along with it, and I might do all the welding, but all the show ideas are a complete collaboration. Like even down, Scorpion Tail has a lot of custom programming and a lot of custom just instrumentation, a lot of things we had to do digitally, and it took all of us jumping on board, so it's not just me like inventing all these things. I just happen to enjoy expressing myself through steel.
You are one of the rarest individuals I've ever met, because you are so fucking wicked smart and so talented in so many different ways that people can't, like some people, if you're mechanical, you can't be musical. If you're musical, you can't be artistic, and you're like all of it. Fuck, that's badass. and he's a bass player. So, so now you got to stop with the dirty bass playing jokes, right?
Yeah. Well, the bass players are honestly like, you see kind of the what type of people attract themselves to different instruments, and I'm totally a bass player. Like, if there's going to be a welder in the band, it's always going to be the bass player. Or if you see one of the musicians working on the van, always the bass player.
I actually love bass players because my daughter plays bass as well, so bass and guitar.
Yeah.
So I get it. But anyways, we've taken up a shit ton of your time, and I could literally talk to you all day because this is so super exciting to me and nerdy and geeky and musical all at the same time. But I know he's got to get on stage, and I know that you need to stay tuned to Tattoo.com, The Edge Rock Radio, Rockwell Unseen Music Magazine, and you need to get out and get to a fucking Nothing More show. And oh my god, they're playing with fucking Breaking Ben, and holy fuck, Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, come on.
It's a sick tour. It's a sick tour.
It is. Sometimes you go to a show and you're like, like 1 out of the 3. Like 2. This is one where I'm like, holy fuck, if I miss any of it, I'm just going to be pissed off at the world. So don't be pissed off at the world. Get to a fucking show now. A Nothing More show.
Do it.